So live albums have always been a bit of a hot topic when it comes to metalheads. Some people are simply studio heads and that's it. They don't want to listen to any live albums. But for me, honestly, I love live albums. I often prefer them over studio albums. Because for me, it's all about experiencing what the band can actually deliver live. I love putting on a live album from start to finish and just being transported to the show. I can be on an airplane and put on a live album and just transport myself to a live Slayer show instead of a shitty flight. They can also serve as best of albums, cutting out all the filler from the bands. But for me, I'm all about the live experience. I want to hear the sound from the audience and paint the whole picture and the energy of the actual concert. So today I thought it would be fun to go over my 20 favorite live albums. We've got everything from classic heavy metal to punk to black metal to classical and everything in between. And all of that wrapped together even. So grab your battle vest and a six-pack because fuck it, we're doing it live.
We'll do it live! Fuck it! Do it live! I'll write it and we'll do it live! Fucking thing sucks!
So headbang the like button, stage dive onto the subscribe button, and windmill the video to your friends. And if you're a fan of this channel, consider signing up for my Patreon. That's right, Why It's Metal is now on Patreon, where for only $1 a month, you can get all of my videos ad-free, uncensored, with longer music clips from featured artists. Plus, each membership really helps me toward my goal of creating a life-size Godzilla to invade Canada. And now for my 20 favorite live albums. Number 20, Metallica with Binge Shit Purge.
Oh yeah!
Recorded in 1992, this captures Metallica arguably at their peak. Cliff was gone, but Jason was a force on the bass. The band were just starting to introduce their more melodic, mainstream-friendly songs, but were still thrashy as fuck. This live album has the band delivering with extreme intensity. It's some of the best I've heard these Metallica songs perform before. This was before they were all old grandparents' kids. Yes, you may not believe it, but Metallica used to kick fucking ass, and this live album is proof of it. Especially their version of Whiplash here with Jason doing some of the vocals. It's so fucking sick. Any young kids out there who think Metallica is just an old dad rock band, you're gonna listen to this and have your mind blown. Number 19, Obituary with 10,000 Ways to Die. Obituary are the classic American burger of death metal. You always know exactly what you're gonna get and you are always satisfied. Obituary is just an insanely, crushingly heavy band live. Their classic death metal sound is captured so perfectly in this live album. Even the intro redneck stomp, the riff is just so satisfying. You'll find yourself breaking your neck in the middle of the aisle of the grocery store. It's a great summer death metal album. Put it on next time you're having a summer cookout, and the next thing you know, you and your friends will be moshing in a circle, smashing beer bottles on each other's heads. Number 18, Iron Maiden with Flight 666. Iron Maiden have a collection of live albums that are hailed by their fans as masterpieces, and all of them capture a different era of the band, serving as a great time capsule to look back through Iron Maiden's career. There's Rock in Rio, there's Live After Death, but my personal favorite is Flight 666, even though it was what you could say a modern tour. But man, this was arguably when Iron Maiden were at their peak. This is when they just got their own airplane that Bruce was flying to all of these shows. The setlist was full of classics, opening with Aces High. They played Fear of the Dark. They played A Rime of the Ancient Mariner. And the band sound top notch despite being decades into their career at this point. It's basically Iron Maiden celebrating their greatest hits, captured by the band while they were still climbing to their very peak. And it was the first tour that I saw Iron Maiden on, so maybe that serves as a soft spot for me. Number 17, Black Sabbath with The End. Recorded at the final concert of Black Sabbath's final tour in 2016. No, not Ozzy's final show that just happened. This was Black Sabbath's tour. And despite being the last concert by a band started in the fucking 70s, listening to it, you'd be under the impression the band only got better over the years. Classic live albums from bands can capture the energy of the time, like with Metallica. It's not the most perfect sounding, but that energy and time from the band is something you just can't replicate again. But some of the classic metal bands, I like their later live albums better because the sound has just gotten so much heavier and defined by that point. A song like NIB on Sabbath's normal record is good. It's heavy. I love that song. But here, even without the visuals, you can just hear and feel the energy that Ozzy's running around spraying everyone with a hose going, "Come on, man!" And especially now with Ozzy gone, this live album now holds a special place in metal history. Number 16, Hypocrisy with Hell Over Sophia. One of my favorite genres is Swedish melodic death metal, and one of my favorite favorite bands has always been Hypocrisy. From the very first time I heard them, I was blown away. I did not know music was capable of that. And this live album really captures the energy and how raw yet melodic this band can be. You get moments of these epic orchestrals and slow riffs that paint this huge environment in your mind's eye, and then blast beats and screams. Hypocrisy makes death metal that sounds otherworldly, not just because of the lyrics. And the setlist here especially is great. It's got pretty newer songs like Weed Out the Week, it's got classics like Eraser and Roswell 47, and it has older Hypocrisy songs that are redone amazingly. Standouts for me are Fractured Millennium and Adjusting the Sun. Those songs give me chills and tinnitus at the same time. I should probably see a doctor. 15 is Lamb of God with Philadelphia. Lamb of God are pretty much a mainstream band right now. They've taken the place of Slayer in terms of American bands pulling huge audiences that are crazy as fuck live. But Philadelphia was captured while the band were a known name, but yet were still proving themselves to what they could really be. This live album is full of old tracks, and it even has some Burn the Priest songs. I think the newest song on this album was Now You've Got Something to Die For. But this album really captured the band's rawness at the time, which the band is still awesome live for sure, but this was a time when people thought Randy might actually jump off stage and punch or puke on someone. Number 14, Watain with Opus Diabole. I like black metal that is violent and gives you nice warm thoughts of war, violence, and flames. And that is exactly what Watain would do at their live shows, or rituals as they would say. This was recorded when the band were really leaving their mark on the metal scene. Malphator and Reaping Death being standouts for how extreme and savage black metal can be. Listening to the live album might not have all of the fire that the DVD does, but listening to the album will get your heart racing for an unholy war. Highly recommended to listen to if you are currently mounted on a machine gun. Number 13, Cannibal Corpse with Live Cannibalism. Every headbanger who started coming up on the extreme stuff in the early 2000s was obsessed with this live album, capturing Cannibal's crushing sound so perfectly. Spine-splittingly brutal songs with Corpse Grinder giving hilarious commentary before each one. In the list of top death metal albums of all time, this should be on there. Safe to say this live album influenced so many current death metal bands. That's a tip for you kids. If you want to be a cool death metal person, get this album, buy the poster, put it on your wall, and give you plus 10 death metal points. Number 12, Devin Townsend with The Retinal Circus. Being a fan of Devin Townsend's music is a lot like being given a box of chocolates that was packed by a schizophrenic. You don't know what the fuck you're gonna get. And in 2013, Devin collected all of his best, greatest, and weirdest songs and put them together at a performance called the Retinal Circus in London. This concert was a reflection on Devin's entire career up to that point, with Devin performing some of his earliest solo stuff along with his best hits from the Devin Townsend project, and for the first time in many years, he performed 2 strapping young lad songs, and even brought out Jed Simon for them. It was fucking awesome. If you ever stuck on a desert island and you can only choose one album to have, I'd probably recommend this one because it has pretty much every genre of music put together in it. You get slow, soft acoustic songs, planet-destroying death metal, really euphoric sounding whoa music, and then the grinding thrashiness of SYL. Plus Devin's hilarious commentary. I always thought he could do a tour just doing stand-up and not even performing music. Plus the album features cameos from Anneke van Giersberg, Steve Vai doing a cameo, and Ziltoid the Omniscient. Number 11, Rammstein with Paris. Many people have wondered if Rammstein are even worth listening to without the visuals of endless pyro lighting up the stage like Vietnam. Well, I would argue that yes, they are, because their live album Paris is heavy, grinding, and possibly the best album to listen to at the gym. Aside from the fiery stage show, Rammstein live is just crazy in terms of heavy sound. The times I've seen them, I've felt my entire skeleton shaking throughout my body. And this live album comes pretty close to capturing that same feeling. And like I said, put it on when you're working out. It's so heavy yet mechanical that you'll find yourself just embracing the repetition. Plus, it's a way to get the Rammstein experience without singeing your eyebrows off. Number 10, Children of Bodom with Stockholm Knockout. Man, I miss this band. They were so good, so much fun, awesome stage attitude, and excellent musicianship. And this concert captured them at what I think was their very peak as a band. They just released their biggest album, Are You Dead Yet? Yet the setlist is full of heavier, more awesome versions of their earlier songs that they eventually stopped playing live. This live album got a lot of plays in my high school days. They were a big influence on me early on as a young metalhead. So highly recommend this one, and rest in peace to Alexi. Number 9, Nightwish with End of an Era. I love songs from all of the eras of Nightwish. Yes, even Annette had some really good songs. The Poet and the Pendulum I think is incredible. And technically speaking, I would say that Flor Jensen is my favorite vocalist that they've had so far. But End of an Era was truly an appropriate name as it captured the final performance with original vocalist Tarja, whose operatic vocals are absolutely masterful. Full of their best songs from their early days and has an amazing rendition of Phantom of the Opera. It's a beautiful, heavy, incredible concert taking place in their homeland of Finland, with an audience full of people who did not realize the significance of that moment, especially not Tarja. Put it on and take a shot every time she comes out in a new outfit. Number 8, Septicflesh with Infernus Symphonica. This one is fucking epic. Death metal with a live orchestra. Septicflesh rely heavily on symphonic orchestra sounds in their music, but usually when playing live they just have a backing track. But for this concert in Mexico City, the band got a full orchestra and choir together, which they've only done a couple of times now, and I would love to see it live because holy shit, it's epic. Musically, it sounds like war taking place in ancient Athens. The tracks Martyr and Anubis being standouts for me on this one, and death metal is just so much fun with a maestro. Listen to the guttural screams and the heaviest shit drums while picturing like 30 old people in suits and ties up there playing the music. Number 7, Kanonenfieber with Live at Oberhausen. The latest one on this list. This album came out this year, but god damn, if you want just historical war blasting in your eardrums, then play this. This was the first time in a long while actually where I put on the album and had that feeling I was describing earlier, where I felt like I was transported to the show and was getting chills from playing it. Watch the live video to get the awesome stage show. It definitely is worth it, but even just the music gives you the feeling of artillery fire while you're being shouted at by Germans. Highly recommended for any war aficionados. I only recently started getting really into this band, so maybe it's a little bit of bias here, but I promise you if you play this, you will not be disappointed. Number 6, Blind Guardian with Live. This is like if you took all of my teenage nostalgia and put it into one album. There was a long period as a young metalhead where I worshipped Blind Guardian. And I still like them, they're a great band, but they were my favorite band for a while. They had a way of just capturing the power of the audience in their singing that a lot of bands can't replicate. If you actually watch Blind Guardian performing live, they're really kind of just standing there not doing that much. But all fans of their music would agree that their live shows are so powerful and overwhelming because of all of the singing together in unison. And this album live captured all of that perfectly. This was still when the band was heavily a speed metal band. Less ballads that sound like they'd be performed at a medieval fair, and more speed metal thrashing while singing about wizards. I think Valhalla was a fairly new song when this came out. I said less fairy tale fantasy ballads. There's still like 3 on here. That's less than what they do now. And they're all done very powerfully. It's a live album that will make you want to ride into battle against Morgoth and then cry out your victory with your elven friends at the tavern afterward. It's funny, for a lot of people, they get all nostalgic about when they were younger when they hear stuff like Limp Bizkit or Korn. For me, it's these early Blind Guardian songs. It takes me right back to being 15, 16 years old and discovering metal for the first time. But yeah, highly recommended for the power that it captures and the magic of it. Number 5, Epica with The Classical Conspiracy. I cannot overstate how much I love this album. Epica are a great band, but they're not one that have been on my regular rotation often. But this live album captures the band not only at their best performance-wise, but also in a really unique moment. Because like the Septicflesh one on here, this was the band performing with a full live orchestra, which hearing the Epica originals like that is awesome. But what makes me love this album so much is the first half of it is the band without vocals doing covers of classical pieces and film scores. It's all of the members of the band except for Simone playing their metal with the orchestra doing songs like Hall of the Mountain King and Adagio. And my personal favorite, they do a really heavy headbanging version of the Imperial March from Star Wars, which is easily the best version of that song I've ever heard. And then for the second half of the album, Simone comes out to do their original songs. The Phantom Agony on this album being a standout for me. I love that one. Metal can be pretty too. Alright, get that pretty shit out of here. It's time for savage satanic shredding. Number 4, Venom with Live at the Hammersmith Odeum. Whenever you see a live album from a classic metal band that says live from the Hammersmith, you know it's gonna be good. When most bands were using Satan as a spooky figure in their music, Venom was treating it more like a sledgehammer they were driving into their audience's face. It was back in a time when live recordings usually weren't that good, which works against some bands, but not for Venom. Because this album sounds like the gates of hell were just burst open by rabid demons. This album gives the same type of feeling for people who watch the Blair Witch Project for the first time and think, is this actually real? Is this actually something evil? And as fast as Venom played on their albums, they aim to be 3 times faster live. Shit, they were practically a punk band at times. This live album really captures why Venom were so influential and insane back in their day, and it will make your grandmother pray extra hard for your salvation. But she'll be disappointed to see that number 3 is Slayer with Decade of Aggression. Pretty much everything I said for the last entry also applies here. This was Slayer at their most insane. This was back before Tom got tired of playing their songs. This is one of the most evil sounding that Slayer has been. The intro going into Hell Awaits is so good. It's one of my favorites. Picture hellfire slowly rising until war erupts. All of the Slayer classics are here, played at their most extreme. Some of the best recordings of these songs, to be honest. This was way before God Hates Us All. They're playing stuff on here like Captor of Sin, Born of Fire, The Antichrist, Black Magic. It is Slayer at their most savage. Number 2, Motörhead with Better Motörhead Than Dead. Like I said, live at Hammersmith, you know it's gonna be good. Released in 2007, this was Motörhead at their most seasoned. They knew what the fuck they were doing and how to do it. Motörhead were another classic band that always aimed to go faster, louder, and heavier live. Motörhead have many live albums, but this one always stood out to me just because of the excellent song choice. They play some of their catchiest songs like Killers, Love for Sale, Let Me Sound Like an Ashtray from the 70s. It ends with Bomber, Ace of Spades, and Overkill back to back. I mean, come on. It was the longest lineup of Motörhead captured at their very best that will make you want to floor the pedal down the highway. And it's got an awesome version of Motörhead doing their song Ramones. And speaking of which, number 1, Ramones with It's Alive. I know you were expecting something metal. You were probably expecting something from Rock in Rio or some crazy experimental death metal played by people wearing Halloween makeup. Nope, this live album by the Ramones captures exactly what I want in a live album, the intensity. From front to back, it's their classic punk rock bangers played even faster, a bit heavier. I'm not even sure how long this live album is because as soon as I put it on, it just grabs you and it goes and it doesn't fucking stop. There's like 2 slower songs on it that are boring, but besides those, it's a live album that transports you back to a different time. With no fancy shit, it's just a band of 4 dudes with weird hair and leather jackets getting on stage and rocking the fuck out. Even if you're in a metal band, you should take notes from this performance. Putting on the album feels like you were just wandering down the street late at night in the 70s and you stumbled into a club not knowing what was going on and discover the coolest fucking shit you've ever heard. Seriously, fuck having coffee or energy drinks in the morning. Put on this album and you'll be ready to run a marathon. A live album so good it will make you flip off your parents and flunk out of school. And that is my list of the 20 best live albums. Now go play all these back to back and have your own little fantasy festival in your head. Which one of these are your favorites, or do you have some live albums that you recommend that I did not mention here? Let me know about them in the comments below. For more from me, check out my band Dark Insanity. You can find our debut EP, Rabid Psychosis, available now on all streaming platforms. We've got Wyatt's Metal and Dark Insanity merch available now in my shop. We've also got hoodies, hats, buttons, stickers. We even have Dark Insanity weed bags. Link is in the description of this video. Anyway, that's it for now, and I'll see you in the next video.